The sirens wailed as I stood by my backyard pool, a net in hand, staring at two police cars parked outside my gate. Red and blue lights flashed, turning my quiet Texas street into a crime scene. My dog, Max, barked from inside, sensing the chaos. At the center of it all stood Linda, the HOA vice president, in a floral sun hat, clutching a cocktail and wrapped in a towel like she ruled the suburbs. "He's shutting down the pool," she shrieked to the cops, pointing at me. "My guests arrive in 15 minutes. This is a safety issue." I was dumbfounded. "This is my private pool," I said, gesturing to my backyard. But Linda didn't care. She stormed past my gate, acting like she owned everything. "She's trespassing," I told the officers. "I didn't invite her." The younger cop glanced at Linda. "Ma'am, is this a community pool?" "It's in my backyard," I snapped. Linda yelled, "He's being petty. Arrest him for harassment." What happened next shocked even the cops, but I'll get to that. First, let me explain how this madness began. I'm Jake Thompson, a retired firefighter and widower in suburban Texas. My daughter, Sophie, just started college, leaving me to enjoy my empty nest. I'd sunk my savings into this dream home, complete with a garden, workshop, and a pool, my sanctuary for quiet swims and barbecues with Sophie. But peace vanished when Linda joined the HOA board last summer. In her mid-50s, divorced, with yappy chihuahuas and a habit of wearing heels to mow her lawn, Linda acted like she owned the block. She once fined a neighbor for a mailbox painted the wrong shade of blue. I ignored her at first, paying my HOA dues and skipping meetings. But Linda hated that I didn't bow to her or let neighborhood kids use my pool. "Share it with the community," she'd said, sipping something neon from a tumbler. "It's not public," I replied. She muttered about selfish homeowners and trouble brewed. One Friday, I covered the pool for a work trip, posting a pool closed sign. When I returned, the cover was ajar, with wet footprints on the deck. Security footage showed Linda and her friends swimming, drinking, and blasting music in my yard. Furious, I confronted her with a screenshot. "Relax," she scoffed. "No harm done." "You trespassed," I said. She slammed her door. I added locks, signs, and cameras, then shut the pool down completely. Linda spread rumors. Jake's hiding something. Then came the flyers. HOA pool party at Jake's, Sunday, 4 p.m. I stormed to her house. "You invited the neighborhood to my yard? It'll boost community spirit," she smirked. "I'm draining the pool," I said. "You'll regret this," she warned. That Sunday, as I secured the cover, Linda led a swimsuit-clad parade to my fence, music blaring. When she found the gate locked, she called 911, claiming I was sabotaging her event. The cops arrived, confused. I showed them my deed and footage of Linda's flyer stunt. "Ma'am, leave, or we'll escort you," an officer said. Then Linda did the unthinkable. She ripped off her towel, climbed the gate, and cannonballed into the half-drained, chemical-filled pool. Water splashed, soaking an officer. Linda surfaced, laughing, until she realized the muck and chlorine. "Ma'am, get out," the cop shouted. She coughed, eyes burning, as they pulled her out, citing her for trespassing. The next morning, my driveway was egged, my sidewalk graffitied greedy, and my mailbox gone. I knew it was Linda. Instead of rage, I baked cookies, chocolate chip, oatmeal, and handed them to neighbors, explaining my pool was private. Most apologized. Some smirked. She's lost it. A week later, an HOA violation notice claimed I wasn't sharing my pool, violating the community's spirit. I called the HOA president, Tom, who sighed, "Linda's making it political, saying you're discriminatory." A hearing was set. At the HOA meeting, Linda handed out flyers. "Reclaim our pool." I presented my deed, bylaws, and videos of her trespassing. Gasps filled the room. "You broke in?" a neighbor asked. Linda stammered. It was a misunderstanding. The complaint was dismissed unanimously, and Linda stormed out. 2 days later, I found workers unloading chairs and a DJ set up in my yard. A banner reading "Community Pool Day" by Linda. She cut my lock again. I recorded everything and called 911. "She's trespassing again," I said, showing the broken lock. Linda claimed it was covered as the HOA vice president. The cops arrested her for vandalism and trespassing as neighbors watched, some recording, others laughing. 3 days later, Linda's lawyer sent a lawsuit for emotional distress and defamation. I countersued with my friend, a lawyer named Chris, for harassment and damages, requesting Linda's HOA removal. Neighbors began apologizing, one bringing pizza, saying, "You handled this better than I would." At the next HOA meeting, Linda was ousted. But at 11:45 p.m., 2 weeks later, Max growled, and my cameras caught Linda in my yard with a gas can and lighter. I confronted her, heart pounding. "You gonna burn my home?" She dropped the lighter, babbling, "I just wanted you to feel humiliated." I pinned her down, firefighter instincts kicking in, and called the cops. She was arrested for attempted arson. The neighborhood rallied, bringing casseroles and fixing my fence. Tom called, "Linda's gone from the HOA. We're banning claims on private property." I upgraded security, steel gates, motion lights, and learned Linda had mental health issues. Her sister messaged, thanking me for mercy. I replied, "I forgive her, but she's banned from my home." The HOA offered $40,000 to stay silent, but I refused. An NBC producer, David, visited, airing my story nationally as HOA horror stories. My post on an HOA forum went viral, sparking reform. I spoke at City Hall with a reform group, HOA, pushing new laws. Linda's trial ended with 18 months in prison and restitution. She tried blaming me from jail, but no one listened. I was elected HOA president, rewriting transparency rules. We held a real pool party, the Peace Splash, with Max floating happily. I said, "Leadership isn't control. Kindness is strength." The crowd cheered. Peace returned, but I check my cameras nightly, not from fear but vigilance. What do you think about Linda's actions and the role of the community in fighting injustice? Share your thoughts below, especially on violence and fairness. Take a stand. Your voice matters.